We continue now at the top of Daf Pei Gimel Amud Beis in Meseches Nedarim. This is Nedarim Daf 83b. The Gemara is continuing to ask from a brayso on the view of Rabbi Yochanan. Again, Rabbi Yochanan's view is, let's say you have a neder, and portions of the neder involve affliction, and portions of the neder do not involve affliction. So if the husband is to annul the vow, so only those portions of the neder that involve affliction are annulled, and the other portions of the neder are not annulled. And the Gemara is asking from a brayso. The brayso refers to a case where a woman becomes a nazira, and she violates the naziris by becoming tamei, and the husband annuls the naziris. And so the implication from the brayso is that the entire naziris is annulled. And the Gemara asks, according to Rabbi Yochanan, Dilma miyayin de islat saro hafirla, maybe from the portion of the naziris that she has to abstain from wine, that involves affliction, that should be annulled for her. But mitumas meis de les lotzara. But when it comes to tumas meis, which doesn't involve affliction, so lo hafer, so he didn't annul that for her, according to Rabbi Yochanan. And again, that's not what the brayso implies. And the Gemara answers, Amri, they answer as follows: Tumas meis nami islat tzara. When it comes to tumas meis, also that does involve affliction. Tichsiv, because the pasuk says v'hachayiten elibo, that the people who are living when someone dies, so it goes to their hearts. B'tanyan, we learned in a brayso, Hoyer Rabbi Meir Omer. Rabbi Meir says, Mai dichsiv. What does it mean when the pasuk says v'hachayiten elibo, that the living people, they take it to their hearts? The yispod yispedun lei. It means that those who eulogize, so there will be others who will eulogize for him. The yivkun yivkun lei, and those who cry, so others will cry for him. The yikbor yikborunei, those who are involved in the burial, so others will bury him. So people do want to be involved when it comes to issues related to death, and therefore abstaining from becoming tamei, that is something that involves affliction, and even according to Rabbi Yochanan, that portion of the naziris as well would also be annulled. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Konem sha'ani nena lebrios. Let's say a woman says that she's making a neder, she's not going to derive benefit from all people. Eino yachol lahafer. So he's not able, the husband is not able to annul such a vow. V'yachol hilayhanos, and she still could derive benefit, beleket shechu peya, with the produce that's left in the field for the poor, that she's allowed to take. And the Mishnah continues, Konem kohanim leviim nenim li. Let's say a person makes a neder, the kohanim and leviim, they're not allowed to benefit from me. So yitlu al karcho, so the kohanim and the leviim, they can take what is theirs, meaning truma and meiser, etc. They can take that against his will. Kohanim elu, leviim elu nenim li. Now let's say he says these particular kohanim, or these particular leviim are prohibited from benefiting from me. So then yitlu acherim. So then other kohanim, other leviim, they're the ones that should take. And the Mefarish explains, V'yachola lehanos mileket shechu peya. Again, the woman who says she's not going to get benefit from people at all, she is allowed to benefit from leket shech and peya. The lo shel briosein, because that doesn't really belong to people. Ela shel hefker. That's considered hefker. It's considered ownerless. And the Gemara says, Alma, we see from the Mishnah, Efsher de mitzana midilei, that it's possible for her to be sustained from the husband, meaning when she says, Konim shani nena lebrios, that she's not going to derive benefit from all people, that does not include her own husband. Mechlal de baal lav bechlal briosu. The Mishnah seems to imply that the husband is not included in the term brios. And the Mefarish explains, Midukamar de'in yachol lahafir mashma de'in beneder hazeh inoi nefesh. From the fact that it says the husband cannot annul this vow, it sounds like it's not a neder of affliction. It's not a neder of inoi nefesh. Mishum de'yachol lehisparnes mishalo, because apparently she's able to be sustained from his property, from the husband's property. But the Gemara continues, Ema Seifa, but look at the end of the Mishnah, the next line. Yechola lehanos beleket shecho peya. It says that she's able to benefit from leket shecho and peya. Aval midabal lo achla, but it sounds like from there she's not able to take from her husband. Alma bal bechlal brios. So you see that the husband is included in brios, and he also is included within the prohibition. The Mefarish says, "Ema Seifa yechol lehanos beleket shecho peya. Aval mishal bal lo matzi achla alma debal bechlal brios." So again, from the end of the Mishnah, from the next line in the Mishnah, you see that the husband is included in brios, and he's included in the prohibition. And the Gemara continues, Amar Ula says, Liolam lav bechlal briosu. Really, the husband is not included in brios, and it is permitted for her to benefit from him. V'oden yachol lahafer, mimnei sheyachol lehanos beleket shechu peya. And what the Mishnah means to say is that further, a second reason why he cannot annul the vow is because she can benefit from leket shechu and peya. The Mefarish has a slightly different girsa. Hachi garsinan Amar Ula liolam bal lav bechlal brios. So again, really the husband is not included in the prohibition. He's not included in brios. And chadav yod katani. The Mishnah is giving one reason and an additional reason. V'ein yachol lahafer demas nisan, when it says that he's not able to annul the vow in the Mishnah, akuli alma kamahar. It's going on everything. De'ein yachol lahafer aliba dekuli alma he cannot annul the vow according to everyone, mishum delav nidre inoi nefesh havyan, velav devarim shebeino leveina, because it's not considered a neder of affliction. She can find sources of food elsewhere, and it's not even something that relates to the relationship between him and her, because she is allowed to take sustenance from him. And the Gemara continues, Rava Amar, Rava says, Liolam Baal Bichlal Brios, who really the husband is included in Brios, he's included in the prohibition, and she cannot take sustenance from him. Umatam Kamer, and what the Mishnah is saying is the Mishnah is giving the reason. Matam ein yachol lahafer, that what is the reason that the husband is not allowed to annul the vow? Mevnei sheyachol lehanos beleket shechu peah, because she has another source of sustenance, she can derive benefit from leket shechu and peah. And the Gemara continues with another answer of Nachman Amar. Of Nachman says, Liolam Baal Lav Bechlal Briosu. Really, the husband is not included in the term Brios, and there's no prohibition from benefiting from the husband. V'hachi Katani. But here's what the Mishnah is saying: Nisgarsha. Let's say she's divorced. Yechol lehanos beleket shechu peah. Then she'll be able to get benefit from leket shechu and peah. And the Mefarish explains, Rav Nachman Amar Liolam Baal Lav Bechlal Brios V'hai Dekamar Ein Yachol Lahafer Ein Tzarech Lahafer Kamar. According to this answer, when it says he's not able to annul, what it means is there's no need for him to annul because he's able to support his wife. V'yachol Lehanos Beleket Mishen Ezgarsha Kamar. And what it means to say is she can take leket shech and pay once there's a divorce. Dahasam Lamotzi Leasunu Yemei Baal, because at that point in time she'll no longer be able to get benefit from the husband, so she'll need to get leket shech and peah. We'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Pei Dalid Amud Aleph.